If you think America's retirement crisis is something far away, something you will deal with later, think again. It is happening right now, quietly and brutally. In Tulsa, in Phoenix, in Cleveland, and in towns across the country, seniors who spent their entire lives working, saving, and building this nation are being pushed back into exhausting jobs simply to survive. These are not light side gigs. They are survival shifts. Their Social Security checks, the same checks they trusted for decades, no longer cover rent, groceries, or even basic medicine. And with warnings of potential cuts by 2034, millions of older Americans are facing a reality they were never prepared for. In Tulsa, as the red sunset bleeds through a grease-stained fast food window, 68-year-old Evelyn Carter flips sizzling patties with trembling hands. She once spent more than 30 years as a school librarian. Now the sound of the grill hides the quiet sobs she refuses to let slip out. Her Social Security check arrived yesterday. As always, it was not enough. Not enough for rent, not enough for arthritis medication. Not enough for anything that resembles the retirement she once imagined. When a teenager snaps, "Hurry up," she swallows the sting. She wipes her eyes with flour-covered fingers and whispers to herself, "I traded fairy tales for fries." During her short break, her daughter calls, "Mom, please quit. Your knees cannot take this." Evelyn looks at the time clock and answers gently, "If I quit, the lights go out." The modest bungalow she once bought with her late husband's overtime pay is now one unpaid utility bill away from a landlord's lockout. This is not retirement. This is survival. In Phoenix, under the harsh hum of fluorescent lights, 72-year-old widower Harold Jenkins clears dishes in a strip mall diner. He was once an auto mechanic whose hands rebuilt engines that kept families on the road. Today those same hands shake as he carries plates to the sink. His daughter leaves a voicemail pleading, "Dad, come live with us." "These 10-hour shifts will break you." Harold pauses, remembering how he once imagined that his Social Security supplement would give him golf afternoons and slow weekends with his grandkids. Instead, it barely covers the grocery bill. His fixed income is wearing thin, just like the hem of his old uniform pants. The limp in his step hides a truth he tells no one. He has been delaying a needed hip replacement, not because he is afraid, but because he cannot afford to miss the time off work. In Cleveland, 66-year-old retired nurse Marlene Ortiz wipes down cafe tables until her wrists throb. She spent decades in AREAs, working double shifts, saving strangers' lives, calming their families, stitching bodies back together. Now she returns home at night and cries over bills that seem to mock those sacrifices. Her basement is flooding again, and the plumber costs more than a month of her pay. A customer leaves her a pity tip. She forces a smile and swallows the humiliation. Migraines pound behind her eyes, but she covers them with makeup so she can endure another morning rush. In the cracked microwave door, she catches her own reflection and barely recognizes the tired woman staring back. "How did my life end up here?" she whispers. Beneath these quiet moments of struggle is a deeper bitterness. Not the anger that erupts outward, but the kind that settles inside the bones. Evelyn admits during a break, "I spent years building worlds for children, and now my life is reduced to wages that whisper not enough." Harold mutters while scraping plates. "I helped families move forward for decades. Now retirement is just a fantasy I cannot afford." Marlene stares at the microwave reflection and says softly, "I saved lives for a living. Now I haul hash to stay alive." This is what America as retirement looks like in 2025. Librarians logging line times instead of library loans. Mechanics mopping motel floors instead of tuning engines. Nurses counting napkins instead of comforting patients. A generation that worked hard, played by the rules, and still fell straight through the cracks. Yet even in the middle of this crisis, small sparks of resilience appear. Evelyn hosts neighborhood book club nights. Friends bring vegetables from their gardens, easing her $200 monthly grocery strain. Her voice grows warm again as she tells stories the way she once did in classrooms. Harold starts a small community car repair circle, earning $300 a week fixing old sedans. The money helps, but more than that, he feels useful again. Marlene volunteers at veterans' homes, and in return, neighbors drive her to free clinics that treat her aching joints. "The giving gives back," she says, and for the first time in years the loneliness feels lighter. But resilience cannot fix a system that has failed so many. Organizations like AARP and countless community networks help soften the blow, Yet seniors continue fighting battles they should never have faced at this stage of life. They dream of a world where librarians rest without worry, where mechanics pass down lessons instead of scrubbing floors, where nurses spend their days in peace rather than pain. As Harold polishes a hubcap, he says quietly, "We hunger for horizons that heal. For rest we earned and rest we deserve." If Evelyn's courage, Harold's grit, or Marlene's quiet strength stirred something inside you, do not let their stories fade. Share them, speak them, hold them close. And if you feel the weight of this crisis pressing into your own middle years, know this. The American Pulse is here to reveal the truths many choose to ignore. Subscribe and stay with us, because we are not only documenting the decline, we are fighting to spark a dawn. And that dawn begins in our next episode. Childcare catastrophe. Skyrocketing costs, forcing single parents to quit and scrape by. We will take you inside the homes where tenderness becomes turmoil, where single parents suffocate under impossible choices, and where the true cost of childcare threatens to break families apart. The next story is one America must confront.